Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sarah, and I'm just sharing my story of how my life and how I got to where I am right now, how God has transformed my life into a better situation. And I was raised in a very dysfunctional family. All my family members were on drugs. One of my aunts, I know, she was on the streets. She was basically, she was a squatter. I don't know if you know what a squatter is, but they go into abandoned buildings. They set up. They stay there. They, I mean, basically they have to wait for the banks to come and tell them to move if the bank's gonna sell the home or whatever. So she would make a living off of that. She would actually go squatting, and I do not encourage anybody to make a living on this, but she was homeless and she had no money. She didn't have anywhere to go. She went dumpster diving, and also my mom also became homeless at one time, and she was living in a tent. And my family was very dysfunctional. My grandfather, he smoked crack. He made my uncle, deal go, and he would go and basically sell weed, and he made a living. And he was only 8 years old when he started. And my grandfather was just a very unusual person, and he was very abusive towards my mom, and my mom had a lot of issues growing up. And growing up, I kind of was mad at my mom because she was a nice mom, don't get me wrong, and I love her to death, but she wasn't really a very affectionate mom from what I could recall. And I don't remember her really hugging me or kissing me as a child, so I always felt kind of like I was, unwanted. I didn't, because I didn't have a father, and it was really hard. I felt really broken. I felt really sad, and I had all this shame, and every day I would just pretend like my life was perfect, and I would smile, and I would just go on my life just like it was perfect and nothing was wrong with me, when deep inside I had all this hurt and pain that I just didn't want to deal with. And from what my parents and my aunt and everybody in my life has showed me was, let's go get some drugs, and that's how you heal yourself. So I had a very vague way of healing, and it was really hard for me growing up. And so one time I just remember, I have all these different situations that I was in. And so my mom, she became homeless, and she lost all her inheritance, and she was on the streets for about probably a good 2 years. And I would sit there and cry because I was her only child. I didn't have, the resources, the money, because I was working basically, paycheck to paycheck, and I was about to fall behind on my mortgage. And actually I did fall behind on my mortgage. I couldn't pay my mortgage. It was really, really tough growing, and I had two little girls, and me and my fiance were really like having a lot of issues in our relationship, and it was so hard, for me. And I slept into a very bad depression. I was so depressed. I didn't want to get up. I did not want to do anything. I started going towards drugs, and I would do so much drugs that it was not even funny. Like, I couldn't even think right, because I convinced myself that I needed them. And I was like, yeah, I cannot survive without these drugs, because they would ease the pain, all the pain that I was holding inside of me. So one day I was just sitting and praying. I was like, God, I do not want to do these drugs. I'm tired of them, taking all my money. I'm tired of them taking my, my mind. I'm tired of being their puppet. And for 2 or 3 weeks later, it was seriously, he really answered my prayers. he took them away. Like, I just had no urge, no want to do them anymore. It was actually like a miracle. And I've been clean for about a year, and I'm just so grateful that that happened to me, that I, you know, all the experiences in my life, even though they were bad experiences, have made me a better person. And I know God used my life to show his glory and what he has for me, because even when my home was about to be sold, it was about maybe last month, he allowed, and he went and he worked through that, and they stopped this. They went and they extended our home. Basically, they stopped from selling it, because they were supposed to sell it probably last month, and he stopped it from happening. And I know he did, because my God, he's an awesome God, and he will provide anything that you need. You just have to seek him and pray and visualize and just talk to him and build a relationship with him, because he is so awesome. And even though I was all that anger, and I would sit down and I would tell God, you know, please just take me, because I don't have no purpose here. I don't have no father. My mother doesn't care about me. And I had all this hurt and just feeling hopeless. He heard my cries, and he delivered me from all that hurt and pain. And I just meditate on him every day, and I meditate and I just seek him for everything that I do now, because he is so awesome. And I'm going to tell and shout to the world, you know, how awesome he is, because if he could change my life, you know, he could change anyone's life. He just wants you to know that he loves you. He cares about you. And also he is actually restoring my relationship. Me and my fiance had a very rough relationship. We were always arguing, fighting. We could never get along. And now we're like, you know, we're back on track, getting along. We're working together, and we're supporting each other. And he answered my prayers, because I just told him I couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, this anger and hurt, and just you know, not being in a family, because I would grow up not with a family. I didn't want my daughters to be like that. I didn't want my daughters to not have a family. So, you know, when you feel like you're alone and you don't have a purpose, and, you know, just seek God. God will help you, and he will get you a purpose. And I believe that, and you have to believe it. You got to pray and just seek him for everything. His word will set you free. His words set you free. Just meditate on them daily. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And you guys have a great day. And also, if you guys are wanting to learn about, you know, changing your life, if you want to stop working that job, you know, and you're tired of being strapped down to a desk, connect with me. Click my link down on the bottom right here on the page. And I'm doing some amazing stuff, and I'm working on being financially free in the next month. And if you want to join me in this journey that I'm on, I would love to help you. And, you know, it's all about learning and developing yourself. So please click the link, and you have a blessed day, and I can't wait to see you. Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening to my story. Bye.